Welcome to this Dhamma talk. Before we ask Bhante to start the Dhamma talk, let me introduce Bhante to everyone. Maybe some of them might not know who is Bhante Chandawimala. Okay, Venerable Dr. Rangama Chandawimala Thero is the Associate Professor of Buddhist College of Singapore and is a Buddhist monk from Sri Lanka. Bhante was ordained as a Sri Lankan Buddhist monk in 1983. Bhante studied at Gangarama Pirivena, Colombo, and graduated from the University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka, in Buddhist Philosophy in 1994. Bhante holds a diploma in education from University of Colombo and has been a Dhamma educator since 1996. Bhante obtained a master's degree in Buddhist Studies from PGIPBS. Don't ask me what is it. Of Kelaniya in Sri Lanka in 1997 and obtained a PhD from the University of Hong Kong in 2008. Bhante was awarded a first prize award-winning publication in the Third Korean Conference of Buddhist Studies in 2006 on his publication, Bodhisattva Practice in Ancient Sri Lanka, with reference to the Abhayagiri Fraternity. After completing his PhD at the University of Hong Kong, Bhante got a teaching appointment as an associate professor at the Buddhist College of Singapore, which he is currently teaching at, which is at Coming Sunday. Okay? So tonight's topics for the talk is the benefits of chanting. I think many of us do chanting, but many of us may not know why we chant, what are we chanting, what is the importance of chanting, and what are the benefits that we can get from chanting. So tonight we have invited Bhante Chandawimala to explain to us, to tell us what is the importance of chanting and the benefits of chanting.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you, Sister Lily. Dear friends in the Dhamma, good evening to all of you. Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me to Mangala Vihara to share some knowledge with you. Actually, even though I have participated with various, the Dhamma activities here and, alms giving ceremony and all-night chanting and all this is the first time that I am giving a talk here, right? So, and I know that you are very interested in Buddhist chanting. At the Mangala Vihara, I think this is the only temple here in Singapore as a Theravada temple having a chanting group. Yeah, chanting group. So it's a very wonderful thing, and for the chanting group, my talk will be quite interesting, right? And also for all of you as well, it will be interesting. So today, we are going to talk about the Buddhist chanting, right? So the topic is benefits of Buddhist chanting. Benefits of Buddhist chanting. Actually, the topic given to me was the benefits, it's a benefits of chanting, as I remember, benefits of chanting, and then I added the term Buddhist here, because we talk about Buddhist chanting, because there are various other types of chantings in different other religions as well. So, specifically, I put this term, the benefits of Buddhist chanting. You know about me, and no need to have introduction. Yes, I am serving at Buddhist College of Singapore at Konminsan Temple, right? Yes. I just put a photo, yes, here. Yeah, for you, because you are very familiar with this. Huh? You know that whenever we have the all-night chanting, this is the first thing to do. Invite the venerable monks to, conduct the chanting session or start the chanting session for the benefit of the, the all beings. All right. Yeah, we will wait a little bit. I see the people, I think, who participated with the evening puja are also coming. Yes, please come and sit. We didn't start yet. Don't worry about my presentation. I can share the presentation with everyone. If you are interested in, I will, I already have given it to the sister who, provided this computer. So you can get it from her, and, even you can, give me your, I'll give you my email address or whatever, and then we can share the, PowerPoint. So don't worry, taking photos and all that. Yes. Yes. Now you can look at the screen. Whenever we look at the Paritta tradition in Sri Lanka, because the Paritta, it developed as a great tradition. So within the, Pali Buddhist chanting tradition, it explained that Buddha is the one who can avert or who can eliminate all the misfortunes and the dangers, right? The dangers and misfortunes of us, the people, right? So, I think you know the Jaya Paritta, the small Paritta, which is called Jaya Paritta, the Paritta of victory, victory. So in the Jaya Paritta, it has a special phrase. What is that phrase? This one. Sabbantaraya nivarana samattassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right? I worship to the Blessed One, or I homage to the Blessed One, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one, the one who is capable of averting all misfortunes. Yeah. So that means actually, as Buddhists, we have much faith in the Buddha. And we have honor in the Buddha. And we believe the Buddha has power because of his great qualities. He can avert or he can eliminate the misfortune of us. That means actually whenever we do the chanting, we always recite Etena Satcha Vajjena Sotti Me Hotu Sabbada. Or sometimes we recite Etena Satcha Vajjena Hotu Me Jaya Mangalam. Etena Satcha Vajjena Sabba Dukkhang Vinassatu. Sabba Bhayo Vinassatu. Sabba Rogo Vinassatu. So we make an asseveration. You know the term asseveration? Yeah. We make an asseveration. That means we are based on the confidence in the Buddha. Based on the confidence in the Buddha, we make a great wish asseveration. Etena Satcha Vajjena Sottime Hotu Sabbada. By the power of this truth, may I be well and happy. And then we chant, by the power of this truth, may there be victory for me, or for the victory be with you, right? And also we say, etena satya vajjena sabba rogo vinassato. By the power of this great truth, may I be free from all sicknesses or illnesses. May I be free from all suffering, sabba dukkhang vinassato. And then may I be free from all fear, sabba bhayo vinassato. So this is what, this is how we make a wish or asseveration after we chant each and every sutta. After each and every sutta, we may recite one of these special phrases, right? By the power of the Buddha's qualities, right? Or Dhamma's qualities, Sangha's qualities. May I be free from harm and danger, and so on. Right? So in this way, actually, we believe that with the great qualities of the Buddha, by the power of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, right, we can have the happiness, prosperity, longevity, good health, and everything. So as Buddhists, we have this belief. Sometimes people who think about, all these, the ritual things or the Buddhist rituals or certain practices and all these things are not that important. Only the philosophy is important, something like that. That is wrong. For the common people like you need the blessing. Understand? You need the blessing, right? Because according to the Buddha, your life is beautiful as a life of a peacock. Beautiful life you have, having your, the wife or husband and the children and your family members. You live together with all of them, performing your duties and, doing your responsibilities and, so many things. Your life is beautiful, like a life of a peacock. The life of a monk is like a life of a swan. Swan in the water, just slowly, floating in the water, and then they fly very high from this lake to the next lake or next water, right? But the peacock also can fly, but they don't fly very high. And because their tail is very heavy, and their body is also heavy, so they fly little. That means the lay people also can follow Buddhism. They also can enter Nirvana, but your pace, you will be a little bit slower than the monks. Because why? You have a lot of responsibilities, the duties, taking care of parents, children, and giving education for the children, and working, and so many duties that you are having. Monks do not have many more duties, right? They stay at the temple and they depend on you, subsist on your offering and so on, and they have less duties. What they really should do, actually educate you, teach you, and guide you to follow the Dhamma. So this is very important thing actually for us. We need the protection, the blessing, and all these things. Nowadays, in the psychology, it says that if you have positive thinking, that is very important for our life, positive thinking, right? Nowadays, there is a branch of psychology, it is called positive psychology. That means you must have positive thoughts. What we do in chanting, always having positive thoughts, right? And having good thoughts. And we make wish to be prosperous. So what is wrong with that? Not wrong at all. And in the Ratana Sutta, there is one phrase there. Divacha ratto cha harantiye balin tasmahine rakhata appamatta right? In that sutta, there is, these two lines. The people are performing wholesome deeds or doing meritorious deeds day and night, and they transfer merit for the divine beings and so on. May the divine beings in return protect all these people, right? What we expect after, the sharing merit with the divine beings, the protection for us. And also, we wish the divine beings also nirvana. That is another thing, because that's the goal of each and every one, according to Buddhism. Right? So, sometimes people who go to practice meditation, or those who just focus only on the philosophy and so on, they may have wrong views, and these things are not that important. Of course, the chanting and all these good practices are very important in Buddhism. We have the gradual practice, right? Dana, Sila, Bhavana, right? And also, whenever you look at the meditation as well, right? There are, Dasa Anusati and so on. There is one section in it called Devatanusati. Even you can recollect the qualities of the Devas. That means why? We want to be like Devas. We believe that Devas are having good qualities. And then we think about the good qualities of the Devas, right? Good qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, right? And then the good qualities of giving, dana, and good qualities of the divine beings and so on. Why we need these things? Then you just focus on the vipassana only, right? There is no such thing. In Buddhism, we say, Vijja Charana Sampanno. Vijja means the knowledge. Charana means the good conduct. So good conduct and knowledge should go together. So what do you think? Right? The one who is doing chanting with concentrated mind, is it a bad person or a good person? He has a lot of compassion, metta and all these things. Right, since you are having this chanting group here, whenever you do chanting, or maybe after monks finish the first part of chanting and you will continue, right, until the next morning. How do you chant? Do you chant with hatred? Every year we have this chanting, something like, no. Because you have a lot of faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and then you do chanting with a lot of compassion towards all beings, right? And a lot of metta towards all beings. And having a lot of positive qualities or the thoughts in you. So that is very good for you and for the others as well. So I have so much to talk about this, but we don't have enough time to talk all these things. Anyway, yeah. So we said actually the chanting is very important when you chant it in a melodious voice. Beautiful voice. Then why we do in beautiful voice? Right? Otherwise you can just chanting something like in the certain, I have seen certain monks and, reciting certain mantras like that. Chanting is not a mantra. Chanting you recite with the, the loud voice, or so that others can hear. And also, even though you chant alone, you can make a noise, the sound. Sound is very important. And you beautifully chant it, right? If I talk more about all this beautiful voice and all these things, then I have to go back to the time of the Buddha as well. During the time of the Buddha, there was one monk. And he had a very beautiful voice. Very beautiful voice. And Sona, Ayasma Sona, Venerable Sona. And one day Buddha listened to some of his, the recitations. And then the Buddha praised him. Oh, your voice is so beautiful, very attractive, melodious. And even Buddha gave him a title. You are the foremost among all the monks who have the most beautiful voice. Understand? Like that. So that is why in Sri Lankan tradition, still we are continuing this. The monks who have the ability of chanting in a very beautiful way, in the Sri Lankan Sangha community, in our own lineages, all the Sangha decide to give him a special title. We call Paritta Bhanaka, the one who is chanting in a very beautiful voice. Or sometimes we give a special title which is called Sarabhanya, the one who is having melodious voice. Still in Sri Lanka, the certain monks who is having this beautiful voice, we get this title from the monks, the community of the Sangha. It's an official title, right? Something like that. If chanting is not necessary, no, this kind of things, we need. Anyway, so when we talk about the Buddha's voice in the Sri Lankan chanting tradition or Paritra tradition, we have these 8 great qualities of the Buddha's voice. Now, I will, pronounce these, the qualities with Pali and English meaning, right? It's a Madhu. Madhu mean in Pali, actually, what? Those who study Madhu, the Pali, Madhu mean honey in Pali. So, Madhu mean the Buddha's voice is something very beautiful, something like the taste of the honey. Honey taste, we all like, honey taste, right? So, just here I use the meaning charming. That means Buddha's voice, Madhu means sweet. Buddha got a very sweet voice. Sometimes we tell each other, oh, you're very sweet. Something like that. We say like that. But actually, sweet here means, no, you are not, yes, like a chocolate or candy or something. That means you are very good. So, Buddha also having very sweet voice. It means a charming voice. Very beautiful. Right? And then mother. Mother means inspirational. Inspirational voice. Buddha got an inspirational voice. And mudita. It's not mudita. It's the mudita, not a. Right? Not long a. Mudita. That means delightful. Right? Delightful voice Buddha has. Lalita. Lalita means gentle. Gentle voice the Buddha has. Some people when they speak, so it's not gentle at all. Sometimes people, reduce your voice. Something like that. So Buddha's voice is gentle. And then Ratikara. Ratikara means pleasurable. Love to hear the Buddha's word. Love to hear, pleasurable. And Manohara, very attractive. Attractive voice the Buddha having, right? And then Kuravika Nada. Kuravika means a cuckoo bird in India, a kind of bird. Nada means the sound. The Buddha's voice is very, very beautiful. Like the voice or the singing of the cuckoo bird. Beautiful voice. Right? And so these are, and then there is another one, Nirvishesha, non-variegated. The others cannot follow that voice. Non-variegated. And it's only one and only. Unique voice of the Buddha. Right? So these are the qualities of the Buddha's voice. And when the Buddha recite certain stanzas, or when Buddha deliver the Dhamma, people find it so sweet. That's why they feel that Buddha is talking to each and everyone. You feel that Buddha is talking to me, and you feel that Buddha is talking to me. The others also feel that, because his voice is so attractive. Right? And then, whenever we recite the chanting, right, I advise the chanting group as well. So you have to establish compassion towards each and everyone in the same way that Venerable Ananda had the compassion when he chanted, right? When he doing chanting, something like, during the famine in the city of Vaishali, Visala, Buddha asked Venerable Ananda to recite the Ratana Sutta according to our tradition, right? So Buddha taught the Ratana Sutta to Venerable Ananda and asked him to go and recite the Ratana Sutta while he's sprinkling the water around the city. So Venerable Ananda, establishing compassion within him, he went there together with the other venerables and chanted the Ratana Sutta in the city of Visala, right? Something like that. Now you understand that, how beautiful this chanting is. Right. And then, there is one sutta, we always recite that one. Actually, this is my favorite. Whenever I chant for the blessing of the people, most of the time I chant this sutta. It is called Mahajayamangala Sutta. Mahajayamangala Sutta. We start like that. Mahakaruniko natho hitaya sabba paninang puretva parami sabba pattu sambodhi muttamang etena satchavajjena hotu te jaya mangalang. Something like that. Right? So, this sutta starts in this way. Maha karuniko nato hitaya sabba paninam puretva parami sabba patto sambodhi muttamam etena satcha vajjena hotu te jaya mangalam. So I just translated this by myself. I didn't copy from other translations, and this is my translation. It goes like this. The great compassionate teacher, or the great compassionate Buddha, the Blessed One, having fulfilled all perfections, attained the supreme enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. Right. By the power of this truth, may victory be with you or with me. Right? So, Buddha attained enlightenment with the compassion towards all beings after perfecting all the perfections or paramitas. Right? So, when the Buddha, for the first time when we had the wish to become a Buddha, under the foot of, the feet of Buddha Dipankara, during that time he was just an ascetic. Now after looking at the Dipankara Buddha, and he made a wish, I also want to become a Buddha like you. So from that time on, he got the prediction from the Dipankara Buddha that in future you will become a Buddha by the name of Shakyamuni or Gautama Buddha. Right? From that time on, he perfected the, paramitas. And he worked for the, the Buddhahood. Right? He followed the Bodhisattva path and attained the Buddhahood. So, here, the Buddha had a wish. Buddhoham bodha issami muttoham moche pare. I will realize the truth. Thereafter, I will save the other beings from the samsara. Right? So he had this great wish. This is the wish that each and every bodhisattva is having. That means, I will look for, or I will realize the truth first. I will become Buddha, and then I want to save the other beings as well. Alright? So then we can understand that what is his compassion? What is his compassion? Right? Being a bodhisattva is not an easy thing. Right? Here, even though in the Mahayana tradition we accept or we believe that each and everyone is a bodhisattva. Of course, you can have a wish for the bodhisattva, but following the bodhisattva path is very difficult, very difficult. But you can do it. You can do it if you have that great wish. Right? No matter whether you are Theravada, Vajrayana or Mahayana follower, but if you have the wish to become a bodhisattva, of course you can be. And then you can carry on, right? Your bodhisattva practice until you attain the Buddhahood, right? Anyone wants to be a Buddha? Yeah. Yeah. Huh? You want to find the shortcut to go to Arahant, the enlightenment through the practice of Arahantut, right? Sravaka Bodhi. Yeah. Right? That's up to you, no problem at all. Yeah. So anyway, here the important thing is actually Buddha had that kind of great compassion. So we based on that truth, and we said that by the power of this truth, may you be well and happy. And maybe the next one, right? Yeah, and this one I already explained, right? Ananda Thero via Karunyatittang Upatapetva, right? Having established, yeah, the compassion towards each and everyone, as same as Venerable Arahant Ananda, right? This is how you have to recite the sutras. All right, now without spending much time, we will go to the next one. The origin of Buddhist chanting, right? Origin of Buddhist chanting, when? At the time of the Buddha, or in the time of the Buddha, right? Yes. So, these things will be there, but I may not give in details because need to save some time, right? Yeah. The story of Vaishali, the Ratana Sutta. So, you know the story, so I don't want to repeat the story again, right? Yes. There was a famine in the city of Vaishali, and at that time a lot of people died without having rain and all that, right? There was a scarcity of food and all this, and a lot of people faced difficulties, and finally, yeah, the Buddha delivered the Ratana Sutta, taught it to Venerable Ananda, and then asked him to recite it, right? So that is the story. So we can understand that actually the origin of the chanting, Buddhist chanting, is traced back to the time of the Buddha, to the 6th century BC. And then the story of Karaniya Metta Sutta. You know the story, the background to the Metta Sutta. And it says that a group of monks went to the practice, meditation in the forest, and there was some kind of disturbance from the spirits. And then the Buddha taught them the Metta Sutta to spread the loving kindness towards all beings, right? Boundless love. And after that, when they recited, when they practiced the loving kindness, and it is said that they got the protection and the blessing, actually friendship from all the spirits and so on. And then there was no any issue for them, and they could practice, meditation without having any problem. And then the story of Khanda Sutta. Khanda Sutta also, it explained that during the time of the Buddha, there was one monk. Actually, he was attacked by a snake, and then he passed away. And then the Buddha said that monks, you have to spread loving kindness towards all the beings and towards all these snakes and so on. And then you will be protected by the snakes as well, right? That means the poisonous animal and so on, right? So this story also mentions that Buddha asked monks to recite, right? Yeah, the Metta Sutta. Apadake hime mittam mittam vipadake hime chatupade hime mittam bahupade hime. Right? I have loving kindness towards those who have no feet, and those who are two feet, that means bipeds, and quadrupeds, and also millipeds, and every beings, right? Something like that. There are beautiful stanzas there, but no time to recite them, right? And then, do you know the Angulimala Sutta? According to our story, and it is said that Venerable Angulimala heard a kind of crying of a woman, and then he came to know that actually she was in her labor pain, right? Labor pain. And then immediately he went to the temple and, informed the Buddha, Venerable Sir, when I was coming on that road, and then I heard that one lady is crying so much with pain, while she delivering the baby. And then the Buddha, it is said that he asked Venerable Angulimala to make an asseveration. You know that Venerable Angulimala killed many people, right? Being a kind of, we call the kind of thief. Thief mean, hiding in the forest. He killed many people to make a finger garland to offer to his teacher, right? There is a story like that. So anyway, after he became monk, actually he spread loving kindness towards all beings without harming anyone else. And the Buddha said that from the date that you become a monk, and you did not do any harm for any being in this world, by the power of that truth, right, may this lady deliver her baby without having much pain, something like that. So later it became like a special chanting, right? And then nowadays, in the Sri Lankan Buddhism basically, and when a lady is, about to deliver her baby, and before they go to hospital, and most of the time, they invite the monks to their home, or sometimes they come to temple, and then, they have this, they get blessing, with the recitation of, the Angulimala Sutta by the Venerable monks, right? So this is what we do, and it's a very, a special tradition in Sri Lanka to bless the pregnant women. And in some area in Sri Lanka, after 7 months, the people hold this chanting ceremony. Sometime after, 9 months, that means just before going to hospital, and they do it. So if you take Buddhist people in Sri Lanka, I think over almost 99% they will do it. 99%. In case if one cannot do it, right? So it's a very well-established tradition in Sri Lanka for Buddhist ladies to get blessing just before they deliver their baby. So it happens like that. And then Angulimala, and then the story of Prince Digayu. There is another story of Prince Digayu, and this boy, when he was 7 years old, he actually he was about to die. Maybe the fortune tellers, or those who, what we call these people, the prophecies, they said that he was about to die or whatever. And then according to Buddhist tradition, it says that the Buddha asked to hold a special chanting ceremony for 7 days. And after 7 days of chanting, putting this child inside the chanting pavilion, and he got long life. Something like that. So there is a story in the Buddhist commentaries. And then, the Bojjhanga Suttas, Mahakassapa Bojjhanga and Mahamoggallana Chunda Bojjhanga, something like that, right? When the Buddha was sick, and then the Bojjhanga Sutta was chanted. And then after Venerable Mahakassapa and Venerable Moggallana got sick, and this Bojjhanga Suttas were chanted, right? And then the Dajjhaga Sutta, so Buddha asked monks to, if you have any fear or something, and recollect the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and then your fear will go away. You can chant these qualities, right? Something like that. And there are some other suttas like Atanati Sutta. It is said that this sutta was composed by the 4 divine protectors, Chattaro Maharaja, right? The 4 divine protectors, or sometime in the Chinese Buddhism, in the Mahayana tradition, 4 guardian deities, right? 4 guardian deities in Buddhism. So they, made this sutta, and it is said that they got the permission of the Buddha to add it as a protective blessing. That is the traditional story, and then Buddha accepted it, and nowadays it has been added into the book of protective blessing, right? You know, the Paritta chanting book. Right, and then the story of Venerable Ananda's captivation by black magic. We recite this Jalanandana Paritta, Jalanandana Gata. This story is not found exactly in the Theravada tradition, but in the Sarvastivada tradition and other, but it's a very popular story in the Theravada tradition. In the Theravada books, early books, it is not mentioned. One day it is said that doing a black magic and one low caste family captured Venerable Ananda. The mother of that family, she was like a witchess, and witch, you know, witch, and she could do some kind of black magic and so on, and then it is said that using a certain magical power, she captured Venerable Ananda to make him as the husband of her daughter. Because her daughter had the great wish to marry Venerable Ananda, because Venerable Ananda was so handsome. After seeing Venerable Ananda, she loved him. Right, that is the story. So anyway, this Jalanandana Paritta is very important in Sri Lanka, and in the Theravada tradition, we recite it, especially as a mantra. Right, now we will see what is Buddhist chanting. Right, what is Buddhist chanting? It is not a prayer like in theistic religions. Theistic religion like Hinduism and Christianity and all these theistic religions like Sikhism. So they believe in the creator God, and they have a lot of prayers for the gods and asking blessing from the God, right? But in the Buddhist tradition, actually the chanting is not a prayer. So what we chant, I told you earlier, we chant the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and after that we say, by the power of this truth, may you be well and happy, may I be well and happy. This kind of, based on the truth, we make an asseveration, or we make a wish. We make a wish. That is what we do. So we don't pray, and doing prayers, you can do a lot of physical movement like this and like that. But when you do chanting, do you do so? No, because you just concentrate. You just concentrate and you do chanting. So it is not like a singing, right? And you may have devotional songs. Yeah? In the theistic religions, there are devotional songs, right? But we don't have that songs, right? Turning this and turning that side, left and right, and like that. Not that kind of. So you just concentrate, and it is not a singing. Whenever you sing, you sing with a very loud noise and while smiling. Do you chant with the smiling? We don't do like that. Yeah, we don't do like that. But when you do chanting, you can, when you do singing, you can do that. And you can entertain the audience in many ways. But yeah, while doing chanting, do you entertain them? You pacify their mind. That's the difference. You pacify their mind. You bring them here to be here and now. Concentrate them, to be aware and to have a very peaceful mind. This is what we do through the chanting. But singing, you expect something else, right? So Buddhist chanting is called Paritta Sajjhayana, which means recitation with awareness or with concentrated mind, right? With a concentrated mind, you do chanting. So Sajjhayana, right? Yeah. So this term is very important for us. So we recite with concentration, right? It is an asseveration based on truth. I explained this idea earlier. After we recite certain, the qualities of the Buddha, certain sutras and so on, we make an asseveration. You see the word asseveration? And many people do not know this term, asseveration. I think for the first time I use this term, asseveration. So it's a very nice word for us, and you can check the meaning of it. It's like a kind of blessing wish, blissful wish or blessing, right? Yes, so why Buddhist chant? Now we will see why we chant, right? What time that we have to finish the talk? By 9 o'clock, right? Still we have 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes to go. Hopefully we can finish in time. Right? Why Buddhist chant? As a remedy for both physical and mental illness. Right. Kāyika roga. Kāyika roga means physical ailments. In Pali we call kāyika roga means physical ailments. Manasika roga means mental ailments or mental sickness. Right. So whenever you refer to Ayurveda medicine in India, Indian indigenous medicinal system, right, we call Ayurveda. So in the Ayurveda, there are two types of treatments. What is the first one? Kaya chikitsa. Kaya means body, you know that. Kaya chikitsa means physical treatment. Right? And then they have mano chikitsa, mental treatment for mental diseases, right? So actually here the mental diseases means sometimes we have maybe a certain kind of depression or sometimes restlessness and so on. Actually if you concentrate properly, if you think what is going on in my mind, right? Be aware of yourself, and then you can think in the positive. Most of the time when we have lot of negative thoughts, range of negative thoughts, and then it affects us. Actually we are the ones who create all those things in our mind, right? No, someone else is doing. And then why we worry about the other people's things? Sometimes he is criticizing me, he is blaming me, he is ridiculing me, or many things. Sometimes when you go to your workplace, you are in your office or somewhere, sometimes you are very angry with your boss. Boss is criticizing me, always asking to do this thing and that thing, and sometimes some people, Bhante, it's a headache. And then I bless them, okay. You spread loving kindness towards him from tomorrow on, always, or when you go to bed, before you sleep, you just close your eyes and spread loving kindness to your boss, and take a photo of your boss and look at him and spread loving kindness to. Yeah. So actually here for many people I advise them, and after one taste worked. Now my boss is very good. Yeah. Because why? When we have, when he is angry, and we also show the same, angry thoughts, that kind of negative thought, always, unhappy mood, right? And then clash is there. When you spread love towards them, clash, right? So we burn them. They are in fire. You put water, and then no fire. Something like that. So that's why we say you don't go to pay in the same coin, right? Yeah, you spread love towards them. Why we get angry because of other people's thing? It's your mind. Why you make your mind polluted? No point, but this is a very difficult thing, even though I say like that. Difficult thing. Actually, Buddha said that if you can be away from the affection due to the other people's bad deeds, and then you are a winner. You are a winner. Right? Most of the time actually we pollute our mind because of the external things. External matters. Other people. Right? Not because of our issues. Most of the issues come from other people. So don't worry about the others. You do what is right in your own way. and spread loving kindness towards each and everyone, and there won't be any problem. So mental diseases. Anyway, there are certain diseases, the people get because of, some kind of issues in your, then definitely you should go to the neuroscience, the doctors, and then you see what kind of treatments are there, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, that is another thing. But however, actually for everyday depression for many people, that's why we say that you practice meditation. In meditation, what we do, we look into ourselves, try to realize your own nature. We call it self-sabhava or the Swasvabhava. In Sanskrit, we have Swasvabhava. Swa means one's own. Sabhava means nature. So that means you look into yourself and try to understand yourself clearly, properly. And then, yeah, you can have a clear mind. When your mind is clear, you are like a lotus. Very pure. Understand? So, actually, we do chanting for our physical wellness and mental wellness. This is very important. I have some experience in my life. Don't take them very seriously. But I believe so. I believe in. And sometimes when certain people get sick in Sri Lanka and almost about to die, or sometimes people come to me and Bhante, yeah, my grandmother or somebody is like this and like that. And then, okay, I go and chant and then I make a wish. May she have long life. That's only what I, and then I recite Mahakaruniko Nato. Yeah, the Buddha, the Blessed One, attain enlightenment after fulfilling all these perfections towards compassion, with compassion towards all beings. This is truth. By this truth, may her or you or whoever be well and happy. I have some experience, right? After doing chanting, it worked. She lived for a long time. And one man in the hospital, almost about to die, and all the people crying, the family and so on. He was quite young. And they invited me, and then I went to the hospital and I do chanting. After chanting, oh my goodness, he rests from his sickness. And so don't think this is a magical thing. Yeah, don't think. I have a lot of experience like that. Yeah, one person, he got a headache. He got a headache from his young age. And one day he told me that. And then I went to his house. And then I did chanting. After that day, no more headache. Still he is healthy. Something like that. Understand? So, sometimes it works. If you, maybe it is not because of certain severe, failure in your body, affection of certain parts of your body or whatever. If it is due to a certain karma, and actually after doing good things, we can reduce the power of those certain bad karma. Understand? Yeah, that is very important. So, the chanting is very important. So, if you chant, actually, we can get this blessing properly. We can get this properly. Yes. One time I went to somebody in Singapore, Bhante, can you, do some chanting? My father is about to die. And then I went, and then when I started, okay, I blessed him to have, free from this illness. And then he said, no, ask him to go, because he is suffering. Maybe. So then how can I chant? So then up to him, right? Yeah, because there are certain people and they have been suffering for a long time because of physical illness. At the last moment, sometimes they invite us and go and with the concentrated mind towards the chanting, with the end of the chanting, and then let them go. And some people, right? One time I went to Malaysia, long ago, before I came to Singapore, I think it's 2001 or something. And together with the other monk, we went to do the chanting. And these people, maybe, I don't know what kind of wish that they had, and then we did some chanting because this patient was at his last bed, severely sick. And maybe that was the reason why they invited us for chanting. And then after we finished chanting, we came back to temple. And then we got a call from the family. Hey Bhante, your chanting is very powerful. He left peacefully. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because maybe it was the wish that they needed. Yeah, because of course, maybe certain people, they suffer a lot, even though they get well. Maybe if they are free from their sickness, life is miserable, right? They are bedridden, right? This kind of we call the like a piece of wood, right? Vegetated state, something like that. If there are certain people, the brain is not working, right? Something like that. So life is miserable and actually no use of life. There will be certain cases like that. Anyway, actually, through the chanting, you can have blessing. That is very important thing, right? Now we will see the development of chanting, especially in Sri Lanka. Whenever we say Theravada tradition, actually all these practices develop in Sri Lanka. Even here we follow the Sri Lankan chanting tradition, right? Yeah. So in the Sri Lankan tradition, we have a special book which is called Chatubhanavara Pali, the book of chanting in Sri Lanka, right? So, in Sinhalese language, within bracket you can see that name, Sinhalese name, we call Piruvana Pot Wahanse. Piruvana Pot Wahanse. Piruvana means the chanting, right? Pot Wahanse means the great book. Actually, we use this term Wahanse especially for the living things, especially the honorable ones, like the monks. Wahanse. But this chanting book also we consider like a living energetical text because it can give blessing for the people. We use this term Wahanse only for two books in Sri Lanka. One book is the book of Jatakas. You know Jataka books? Birth stories of the Buddha. And the other book, only one and only book is the chanting book. They are considered like monks, living monks with power. And then another one we call Wahanse for the Buddha's tooth relic, Dalada Wahanse. And the other one is Jai Srima Bodhi Wahanse in Sinhala language. That means the Bodhi tree in the Anuradhapura, you know, the sacred Bodhi tree. 4 Wahanses are in Sri Lanka. That means they are living things and they can give blessing. Right. So, the book of chanting, we say, is the great book. That's why we, keep the book on your head, and whenever we bring the chanting book into the chanting pavilion, because he is a monk, like a monk-like thing, living thing, we consider like that. Right? Honorable, very, very honorable. So, because of this great development in the chanting tradition in Sri Lanka, one king in the 10th century, the King Kassapa, right? King Kassapa, King Kassapa, the 5th, during this time, 1929 to 1939, as I remember, CE, this king made a royal decree and he wrote it in a stone, right? We call it inscription. He inscribed an inscription on a stone, making a royal decree for the monks, and he established in the temples. What was that? If monks give ordination for boys, these boys, before the ordination, they should be able to recite the chanting book, right? 4 Bhanavaras in memory. Why? It is a very, very required practice in Sri Lanka, the chanting. Chanting for the blessing of the people. The monks should be able to chant, right? So these boys, as a prerequisite, a condition for them to enter the Buddhist order, to have this ability of, having the memory of the chanting book. That is very important. Even now in Sri Lanka, many monks, they can chant lot of sutras in memory. Right? Actually, there are certain monks, they can chant the whole chanting book in memory. Right? Because they do chanting always. Right? Something like that. So, King Kassapa is as the minimal qualification to enter the order of the Sangha in ancient Sri Lanka, the king established a kind of, inscription on writing on a stone slab, right? He wrote like this. The inscription of King Kassapa V, right? In the 10th century, King Kassapa V inscribed the royal decree on a stone slab actually, saying that those who enter the sasana should be able to memorize 4 Bhanavaras. 4 Bhanavaras mean the chanting book. Bhanavara. You know the Bhanavara? Bhanavara, actually for the chanting book we call it is consisting of 4 Bhanavaras. For one Bhanavara, there must be 8,000 characters. 8,000 characters. So in the chanting book, how many characters? 32,000 characters. Without the small chant, until, at the end of the Atanati Sutta, it completes. And the other small suttas or minor suttas, minor parittas, and they are not included there. Right? Yes. And he said like this in Sinhala, ancient Sinhala language, right? Mahan karat, piris satar banavar, or banvar, pinis uwan, mahan karanu isa. If you give ordination for boys, you have to consider or make sure whether they can recite the paritta book or chanting book in memory. Understand? Yeah, that means when they go to temple to become a monk, and the monks teach them first. Teach the things, the necessary things for daily practices and all that, and after that they will give ordination for them. Right? Now you can see a photo of a beautiful chanting pavilion, something like, the chanting pavilion of, at Mangala Vihara. This is a decorated one. Yes, this is how the chanting is doing, especially the all-night chanting. Yeah, you have the experience. Seeing all the spiritus photos, something like. Yeah, it may remind your chanting tradition or practice here. The development of Buddhist paritta, again, we will continue. Different types of minor parittas for different purpose of everyday life, right? We have some minor parittas in the chanting book. The Sivali paritta, we will chant for the success in business, basically. The business people, you should chant the Sivali paritta. So this is important because whenever Sivali is considered as the foremost among the monks who receive the things, foremost among the receivers. Even there are certain monks, after even become monks, they may not get enough food for eating. During the time of the Buddha also there was one monk, he never got enough food for eating because of his past karma. Right? And even among the monks you may see, some monks actually they don't get enough food and they are not that lucky because of their bad past karmas. They are not good enough karmas, right? Like that. And then the Jinapanjara paritta, basically for good health. right? Jinapanjara Paritta, we chant for good health, right? You can see that Jinapanjara in your chanting book. And then Angulimala Paritta, already I explained to you earlier, this sutta is chanted for the expectant mothers, right? Yeah, and then Jalanandana Paritta. This chanting or the paritta is chanted to avert all sort of black magic and bad spell. Because in different cultures, people believe that there are certain black magic. Not only in Sri Lanka, not only in Thailand, in Myanmar, maybe even in Singapore, certain people believe these things. Because in different cultures they have, even in the USA, in England and so on. You know, in each and every country, the people believe certain this kind of spells and, the black magic and all those things. If you refer to the Brahmajala Sutta, Buddha also mentioned about those things. You can read the Brahmajala Sutta. Buddha mentioned that there are certain monks. Monks mean they are not Buddhist monks. The monks belong to other religions in India at that time. They did those black magics. Some kind of spells and various type of games and all those things. You can read the Brahmajala. There are monks who practice. Buddha said that I am free from all those. I am not doing all those magics, black magics, spells and like a fortune telling and all those things. Buddha mentioned that he is free from all those things. Yeah. So anyway, because for the need of the people, and the monks, of course, they reserved several sutras for the benefit of the people, and we will do. Sometime, for instance, in the next one, you may see some kind of information, maybe after even this, and still there are some more. The Jayamangala Gatha, for weddings and auspicious times. Jayamangala Gatha, Bahun Sahasramabhinim, that one, right? We recite for special occasions, especially for the weddings and auspicious time. In Sri Lanka, for old, even for like a government activities and Independent Day or whatever. So always the girls are invited to chant the Jayamangala Gatha, and the monks also do. It's a kind of tradition over there. And then the Maha Jayamangala Gatha for the success of everything. You remember I told you that sometime when people invite me, I go and do chanting the Maha Jayamangala Gatha, right? That one. And then the Ratana Sutta to cut off misfortune, right? The Ratana Sutta. And then Karaniyametta Sutta of minor parittas for different purpose of everyday life, right? We have some minor parittas in the chanting book. The Sivali Paritta, we will chant for the success in business, basically. The business people, you should chant the Sivali Paritta. So this is important because Venerable Sivali is considered as the foremost among the monks who receive the things. Foremost among the receivers. Even there are certain monks, after even become monks, they may not get enough food for eating. During the time of the Buddha also there was one monk, he never got enough food for eating because of his past karma. Right. And even among the monks you may see, some monks actually they don't get enough food and they are not that lucky because of their bad past karmas. They have not good enough karmas, right? Like that. And then the Jinapanjara Paritta, basically for good health, right? Jinapanjara Paritta, we chant for good health, right? You can see that Jinapanjara in your chanting book. And then Angulimala Paritta, already I explained to you earlier. This sutta is chanted for the expectant mothers, right? Yeah. And then Jalanandana Paritta. This chanting or the paritta is chanted to avert all sort of black magic and bad spell. Because in different cultures, people believe that there are certain black magic. Not only in Sri Lanka, not only in Thailand, in Myanmar, maybe even in Singapore, certain people believe these things. Because in different cultures they have. Even in the USA, in England and so on. You know, in each and every country, the people believe certain this kind of spells and, you know, the black magic and all those things. If you refer to the Brahmajala Sutta, Buddha also mentioned about those things. You can read the Brahmajala Sutta. Buddha mentioned that there are certain monks. Monks mean they are not Buddhist monks. The monks belong to other religions in India at that time. They did those black magics, some kind of spells, and various type of, you know, games and all those things. You can read the Brahmajala. There are monks who practice. Buddha said that I am free from all those. I am not doing all those magics, black magics, spells, and, you know, like a fortune telling and all those things. Buddha mentioned that he is free from all those things. Yeah. So anyway, because for the need of the people and the monks, of course, they reserved several sutras for the benefit of the people, and we do. Sometime, you know, for instance, in the next one, you may see some kind of information, maybe after even this, and still there are some more. The Jayamangala Gatha for weddings and auspicious times. Jayamangala Gatha, Bahun Sahasamabinim, that one, right? We recite for special occasions, especially for the weddings and auspicious time. In Sri Lanka, you know, for all the, you know, even for like a government activities and, you know, Independent Day or whatever. So always you know, the girls are invited to chant the Jayamangala Gatha, and the monks also do. It's a kind of tradition over there. And then the Maha Jayamangala Gatha for the success of everything. You remember, I told you that sometime when people invite me, I go and do chanting the Maha Jayamangala Gatha, right? That one. And then the Ratana Sutta to cut off misfortune, right? The Ratana Sutta. And then Karaniyametta Sutta for the blessing and protection from all the spirits, right? We do this. And now we will see the chanting in different Buddhist traditions, right? Chanting in different Buddhist traditions. The one thing I think yes, I forgot one thing. Maybe I didn't add it here. I told you that sometimes we recite the Ratana Sutta for 1,000 times or 100,000 times. Right? Yeah, and then we believe that, you know, people believe that if you recite the same sutta for many, many times, right, in Sri Lanka, sometimes we organize this kind of events to chant for 3 months continuously the Ratana Sutta for 100,000 times. Monks, you know, they turn, they shift, and then come to the chanting pavilion. They may, a group of monks will chant for 1 hour or 2 hours, and another group will come, and like that we continue. So, yeah, because it's a kind of cultural belief, right? And then we will see this chanting in the different other Buddhist traditions, like in the Mahayana and Vajrayana. You will see here Vajrayana monks on the left hand, and on the right hand, the Mahayana monks. Yeah. So, especially they also have various chantings, but there is something special in the Mahayana and Vajrayana tradition. They are called dharanis or talismanic spells. We call them, you know, something like a mantra-like thing, mantra-like spells, right? They are called dharanis. The superpower of dharanis, they believe that, right? So, you know the Lotus Sutra, it is called Saddharma Pundarika Sutra. And then Karanda Viva Sutra in the Mahayana tradition. Actually, this Karanda Viva Sutra is one of the sutras which explains about the greatness of the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, right? You say Guanxi in Pusa, right? Guanyin. Karandavyeva Sutra. You can read that one if you find it. And it explains about the greatness of Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. In this sutta, Karandavyeva Sutra, you find this mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. Right? Om Mani Padme Hum. This mantra is found over there in that sutra. Right? It is the mantra which is most powerful mantra in the Mahayana tradition. That is the mantra to worship the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, Kuan Yin Pusa. And then in the Saddharma Pundarika Sutra or the Lotus Sutra, right? In the Lotus Sutra, we find some mantras like this, or dharanis. Jole, Mahajole, Ukke, Mukke, Ade, Adavati, Tritte, Titravati, Itini, Vitini, Chitini, Tritti, Titravati, Swaha. Like this kind of mantra. That is the dharani. And then there is famous one, Atte, Natte, Vanatte, Anade, Nadi, Kunadi, Swaha. Atte, Natte, Vanatte, Anade, Nadi, Kunadi, Swaha. These are the mantras or dharanis. And then, in the Mahayana tradition and the Vajrayana tradition, it believes that these mantras have a great power. You cannot translate them into any other language. They are something like a kind of mantras. Mantras are very important in the Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhist tradition. Right? Yes. And then we will go to the Vajrayana tradition. Basically, people say Tibetan tradition. Tibetan tradition means actually it is the most established, the Vajrayana established countries in the world. And that is why when we refer to the Vajrayana tradition, we say there's a Tibetan Buddhism, right? Tibetan Buddhism. Yeah, they have one sutra which is called Ushnisha Vijay Dharani Sutra. Ushnisha Vijay Dharani Sutra. And in that sutra there is one mantra which is called the Sarva Durgati Parishodhana. Sarva Durgati Parishodhana mantra means, Sarva Durgati means all the misfortunes. Parishodhana means to purify or clean. Right? So, in the Ushnisha Vijay Dharani Sutra, it says that if you recite that mantra, it can avert all the misfortunes. Even it can save the beings who are suffering in the hells. Right? And it also says that, in Buddhism we say there are 5 grave karmas, like killing a mother, killing a father, and shedding the blood of the Buddha, and making a schism in the Sangha, and also killing an Arahant. These are the 5 gravest karma one can do. And this sutra, Ushnisha Vijay Dharani Sutra says that even if someone commits these 5 grave offenses, the effect of these bad karmas can be nullified. That means can bring into naught, zero, if you recite the mantra of this. So that means, in the chanting tradition of the Vajrayana Buddhism, it believes the great power of this Ushnisha Vijay Dharani Sutra and the mantra in it, the Sarva Durgati Parishodhana mantra. And then there are some other sutras in the Vajrayana tradition we call Mahavairochana Sutra, Sarva Tathagata Hridaya Sutra, Susiddhikara Sutra, and Sarva Tathagata Tattva Sangraha Sutra. Sarva Tathagata Tattva Sangraha Sutra. There are several sutras, and actually they consider them, they are very powerful, especially in the Tantric Buddhist tradition. The Mahavairochana Sutra, Susiddhikara Sutra, and Sarva Tathagata Tattva Sangraha Sutra. These 3 sutras are very important, right? And if you recite certain mantras of these sutras, definitely yeah, you can get the blessing. So it's same as in the Theravada tradition, we believe so. And in the Mahayana tradition, it believes in that way. And in the Vajrayana tradition also, because each and every tradition, they have their own chanting system. Right? Like that. Now, we are going to the last part of the talk. Scientifically prove the power of good words. Now, I told you that in the very beginning, we have to have the positive thoughts, and also we have to, chant with the good voice, good sound. The sound, the voice, nowadays, through the science, it has, proved, right? The importance of the sound, the voice. Yeah, that is why we always say that don't always blame your children using so many negative terms. You fool, and you cannot study this and that. And you see the other children, they are studying very well. Don't tell your students, the children. Of course, you can advise them, but always don't use the negative things. It's not good. Sometimes husband and wife always fighting, using negative words. And then it can create the negative energy, right? Then it is not good. It's not good. So the negative words, it's not good. Even it's not good for your body. Later I will tell you why. So now we will refer to certain experiments. Japanese experiment with water, and experiment with cooked rice, and experiment with plants, right? Yeah. Now, first of all, I want to tell you that whenever you take our body, right, in our body, how much water that we are having, right? If you take kidneys, 80 to 85 water is there in our kidneys. And then lungs, 75 to 80 water, and in the liver 70 to 75, in blood 50%, right? And then in your teeth only 8 to 10. I think one thing I miss here, the brain may be about 80% of water in our brain. And in our whole body, if you take the whole body, 60 to 75, 60 to 75 water in our body. Then why we use chanting, the water when we do chanting? Because when we do chanting, we take the water, the chanting water, we call it lustral water, pure water or blessed water. Because when we do chanting, actually this water, in the Japanese, Japanese scientists, he says that, he talks about water consciousness. Water also having the consciousness. Plant also have the consciousness. Plant or the tree consciousness. So they can react. Water also can react. So whenever we do chanting, actually it purifies the water in our body. And that means that purity is good for your good health. Yeah, our blood and in the whole water. And 70%, if we say simply, 70% water in our body, it will be purified. So you have to drink more water. That's why you must drink more water. Sometimes when you get old, not that much. Sometimes maybe about 65%. It reduced when we are getting old. So young children have more water, and babies have much more water in their body, right? Like that. And now we will see a Japanese scientist, a doctor, he did a kind of experiment, right? And here he takes some water from different places, and then he used certain good words, right? For instance, first one, love and gratitude. He said, oh, love and gratitude. When he pronounced this term for many times to water, water can create some crystal, like a kind of different patterns or design using very high technology cameras, and then can take photos, and this kind of special pictures can be seen in the water. Water molecules or something like that. And then the next word is honesty. When you say honesty, they got this kind of picture. A love of husband and wife, love. When they have the love to, they spread love to each other, right? And then happiness. Happiness is number 4, this one. This is the happiness one. And then courtesy. Courtesy, that means treating each other in a very beautiful way, the courteousness, right? And then hopes. This one is the hopes. And this one, I can't do it. Now you see? Yes, it is broken. That means whenever you use the negative things for the water, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. And then what happened? It breaks the beautiful. Now, actually, I don't want to explain all these things. And you see here, this picture, it says when they collect the water from a certain lake, it's called Lake Biwa. So, the water, the pattern was like this. And after they, say the good word for the water, and then water pattern change in a very beautiful way. Right? And the others also here, like this. This water is from the, a kind of, I cannot read that one. Kara? Somewhere, from it contains, took from somewhere, and then after using good words, you see the different picture of the water, right? Like that. And for the others, right? This one. When they use good music, like Mozart symphony, right? You see the patterns, and then imagine John Lennon, but actually I don't know the singers in the, Yeah, maybe familiar with that. And whenever they use the term love. And then when they collect the water from Fujiwara, and then they do the prayer for this is the way that it was. And after using prayers or good, chanting, the pattern became like this. And whenever use water for this, phrase, I will kill you. You see the pattern of the water, right? So they use this term consciousness of water, or water consciousness. Water is something living, right? Water has this power. So in our body, we have at least 70% of water. So if you chant daily, you will become blessed and you will be healthy, right? And whenever you do chanting for others, and you are getting double blessing for you and for others, and your blessing will be increased, right? And now you see the patterns of the water. This is when they recite the term or repeat the term, love, love, love. And then thank you, thank you. Whenever you say thank you, do you have any anger in your mind? Thank you. And yeah, some people say like that also. But yeah, so you can never say to your mom and like that. Thank you with a good heart, you say like this, all right? And then I hate you. You see the water pattern completely changed. No design is there, good design. And now the rice already experienced. And here I have the YouTube, the video. I can share this one with you and you can see it, right? Now we'll go to the next one. Yeah, 2 plants planted on the same day and treated in the same way, using the same water, same fertilizer, whatever. But they use the bad word. This one, I hate you. You see, the plant, yeah, eventually it died. And then, I love you. it grows very well. That is why actually even they do this, before they did this experiment in Sri Lanka. We say that if you go to tree and talk to them, they will give you fruits soon. If you had this tree, never give flowers and then you cut the branches and do harming for the tree, it will be late to give you the fruits. It may not give good fruit also, right? And then if you praise the plants, actually it's like that. So there is effect of our sound. That is what I want to tell you. So when you do chanting, you do it with wholehearted way. Having good thoughts in you, having compassion, loving kindness, and like that. Wholeheartedly, if you do, definitely you will get the blessing. That is what we do in the chanting, right? Yes, now you are coming to the end, right? Because now we exceeded even the time, right? Now it is 9:20, 9:30. Yeah, I was supposed to finish the talk by 9 o'clock, right? So, yeah, maybe I missed something, and because, there was a lot of things to explain to you or discuss with you, but we didn't have enough time, and some people are also, one by one, maybe I see about 5 people or 3 already left because, because they have some other things to do. And for the Q&A session, I'm not sure whether we have enough time. Yes, sister? Do we? Yeah, that's a problem. Next time, when I come here, or you can invite me for another day.
You want to do transfer merits?
We will do. Yeah, we will do. So I'm sorry, today we may not have enough time to do the Q&A session. So I bless you, all of you, for attending this special, the talk today. Now, even though I gave it as this kind of talk, and you are sitting over here like this, but with the very purified mind, happy mind, and with a lot of interest in the Dhamma, and you listen to this Dhamma talk. So you accumulate a lot of merits. Now at this moment, we are going to transfer merit for all our departed relatives, right? Including the ones who, serve for the well-being of Singapore, this Mangala Vihara Buddhist temple, including Venerable Bhante Mahavira and all the devotees and office bearers who work here for the benefits of all of you and for the temple, endurance of the temple. So we transfer merit for all of them, and including Bhante Jnanarama as well, right? He's the one who, came here to establish this Buddhist college, right? Buddhist and Pali college. So think about all the, the friends and your, the ancestors and your parents or family members or whoever have passed away. May all of them rejoice in this merit and may get all the spiritual benefit for their sansaric journey. May all of them attain the ultimate bliss of nirvana. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And now we are going to transfer merit for all the divine beings as well. May the divine beings rejoice in this merit. May they shower upon blessings towards you and your family members. May all the divine beings also attain the ultimate bliss of nirvana. Say sadhu. By the power of this merit, may all the venerables here, our chief venerable, what is his name? I will forget that. Yes. Venerable Silananda, Venerable Silananda, and Venerable Raja, and Venerable Chakkapala, and Venerable Sunita, and all of them. And also our president and the secretary and anyone in the committee and all the committee members and the devotees and everyone. And Sister Lily for inviting me, and also having this Dhamma, what is that group? Dhamma propagation group. Right? Yeah, may all of you be blessed with good health, happiness, longevity, and prosperity. May all your good wishes and aspirations come true. Finally, may all of you attain the ultimate bliss of nirvana. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yes, so we recite the stanzas. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Akasatta ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakkantu lokasasanang. Okay, I bless all of you. Abhivadana silis nichang vadda pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukham balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me veche atho nibbana sampatti minate samijjatu. Thank you. May all of you be well and happy, and good night.
Thank you. Wait a minute, please. Thank you, Bhante, for tonight's talk. As a